Okay, let's see. Oh, that's interesting. Let me, how do I change this? Screen share window. What? It's not even showing my screen anymore. All right, let me, nope. Oh gosh. Well, welcome to, it's not showing my screen. Why is it not showing? Sorry about that. Welcome to Essential MMX Code Explorer. When I logged into this thing, they changed some of the settings around on it. That's one thing I don't like about web apps. And wow. Let's see if that works. All right. That works for now. Anyway, I will have to revisit this for a variety of reasons. So I had actually a bunch of things planned to doing this webinar differently, but then just didn't get it all put together in time. So I'm kind of, it's almost a bit of a punt anyway, but then, yeah, then things totally went sideways when I logged into the platform. So might be a little disorganized here. Apologies for that. I will, this is a really interesting project, MMX Code Explorer, if you're not familiar with it, which interestingly, I talked to a lot of people and that had not even heard of it, which was kind of surprising. I'd honestly kind of forgotten about it because it is something that I used a long time ago. I'll talk a little bit about that here in history, I guess, as well. But let me see that there. Okay. Real quick, GDK software, if you're not familiar with this, usually everybody else is much more organized than this. I feel like I'm putting forth a not a good representation here. Sorry about that. Oh, hello, look at this. I got all these comments coming in here. Craig, howdy, man. I just sent you a message about Blender. I was doing something and realized Blender is a better way to do that. So, oh, wow, got people. Thomas Mueller, Vitaly, Leonardo, Andre, hello, everyone from New York. Cool, cool. Great to see everybody. I love, now see, I know I just chatted with you and I can't remember your name. Dugnini, that's not your real name, I don't think, is it? Or is it your last name? I'm really trying to get to know everybody. So I'm in the GDK Software's Netherlands office right now, which we had our company days in the UK. One of the great things I love about working with GDK is it's a company that really cares about the people, which I think is important, not just from a caring about people point of view, but we have these things called company days, which is once a year we all get together in one of the cities. This year it was in Oxford, UK, because we have an office in the United Kingdom in London. So we're in Oxford, which is cool. I had never been to UK, and so Oxford was a neat place. A lot of great history there. That's where Tolkien Cemetery was right next to our hotel. We saw the Narnia door, because Tolkien and C.S. Lewis were good friends there when attending Oxford. That's why they started writing together. They started the Inklings Club there, where they wrote together and collaborated. And yes, we saw the Narnia door, which is this door that has the lion and the fawn and has the lamp next to it. Supposedly, this was part of the inspiration for C.S. Lewis's Chronicle of Narnia. And also, Harry Potter was filmed here, and supposedly there's bits and pieces of inspiration for that. So Oxford University, incredible. Not here. So right now I'm in Netherlands office, GDK software, but I was in Oxford for the company day. So that's one of the things about GDK I love, is this idea that they care about the people that work for GDK. Tranquilio is, yes. All right. I knew I didn't have your name right. Is care about the people. And I think that's great just from a humanitarian point of view, but I also think things like company days and our knowledge sessions and our vivid days, where people get a chance to work on their own research and study on their own. So GDK pays people to improve themselves, translates into being a better service for the users. Because we have these company days, get to know each other, and then when you're like stuck on something or whatever, you know who the person is that you could ask for help, which is a huge, huge, huge benefit. So yes, hello from Switzerland as well. Gregor, I see Richard Hathroll on here. Good to see you, Richard. We were just chatting with you the other day. If you don't know Richard, he does the Aperset AWS SDK library that's in Git. And yeah, okay. Oh, and then we have Info Muse from Rainy Zeewaldo, Holland. Very cool. I don't think that's going to show up as a, nope, it didn't show up as a emoji, but we'll imagine it's an emoji of a waving hand. All right. GDK software, we're adding some more services on our website. We're all about Delphi, and it's a huge team that I've gotten to know a lot better here the past couple of days that are just love Delphi, experts in Delphi. So visit us at gdksoftware.com, which I updated the slide, and now the URL is not on there, but it's easy to find. It is gdksoftware.com. The other thing is we have Codelix, which is our low-code system, and it is a low-code system, but it's really more than just low-code. Is now free as a version 2.0, and we've added a new marketplace where you can download some additional modules for that. So go check that out on codelix.com. And let's see, Salim from the US just joined us. Hey, Salim, good to see you. It's interesting that you're in the US and I'm not now. I don't know why that feels weird. Okay. Can I turn off? Nope, it's still showing my name there. Webinar logistics, make sure you go to mailing.gdksoftware.com/webinars, where we have a mailing list that we send out notifications about new webinars, and also slides, replay links, and stuff like that. And I think I'm behind on the slides. Apologies for that. So if you haven't signed up, now's a good time to go out and sign up, because you'll get a catch up with all the other slides in there and other resources. The best place to watch, you can watch from wherever you happen to be watching from now, but the chat I found works the best on YouTube. So if you're trying to send comments in the chat, questions, go to the YouTube channel and join from there. And we'll have live Q&A at the end. If you have suggestions for future webinars, send an email to jim@gdksoftware.com. So if you take the Jim @ off there, that is the website, the URL for our website, and send an email there. I do have, actually, I'm working on trying to change up the format some, which is part of why I'm punting and reorganizing at the last minute on the way this webinar is going. But if you have suggestions of things you'd just like to see covered or whatever, send an email there. Do know that I'm changing the format here in the near future as well. So we always program to an interface, and we always present to an agenda. So here's our interface. I'm going to kind of go over the basics of MMX Code Explorer, a little bit of the history, and then walk you through the installation as such, configuration, essential features. There are a lot of features to this, and it's actually, it's it's interesting. We'll go with that for now. So let's get started. Now, this is part of my Essential Delphi Add-on series, which I plan to also do Essential Delphi libraries in the future as well. But I had a survey from May to June, and it's still open for voting, but I haven't seen any major changes in there. But if you want to go out there and vote, you're more than welcome to. And I do update the results from time to time, but you can see there's a QR code, and I'm not going to bother putting, so I always get it wrong. You know where it's at. That's the you can go to the QR code or the links on the screen and go out there and vote. There's a lot of options there, but the number 3 or the top 4 or the top 3 were GExperts, then FastMM, and MMX Code Explorer. Interesting thing is, so there were 26% of the people that voted, and 26% of the people voted put MMX Code Explorer in their top 3. I asked a lot of people that I know personally that had not even heard of this. So this might be one of those hidden gems. I don't know how many people that are on here are familiar with MMX or not. So if you're not familiar with it, this is a hidden gem. You prepare to be very excited. Go check it out. The other thing that was interesting, though, is FastMM, most of the people that voted for that put it in slot 2 or 3. Whereas MMX Code Explorer and GExperts, most of the people that voted for it put it in slot number 1. And so almost as many people voted number 1 on this one as GExperts. But then where the difference is that a lot more people put GExperts in the lower ranks in this as well, whereas FastMM had. I tried different ways of calculating it to give a good ranking. It's hard, but important thing is MMX Code Explorer, a lot of people are just like, this is absolutely required. So yeah, here's the link for the detailed results. If you can go out and check it out, I do update that from time to time, like I said. Let me see if I can, I'm covering up part of the thing. Can I do this? Nope. All right. So history of model maker tools. The model maker tools started out very early on with Delphi. I don't know if they released it shortly after Delphi came out, but they had Model Maker, which was a full UML case modeling framework. This was really big deal back in the day. And they also had MMX or Model Maker Code Explorer, or MMX. So MMX is Model Maker, and then the X from Explorer is MMX. So MMX was Model Maker Code Explorer. Now it's MMX Code Explorer, I think is the name for it. So I may mix up the naming, but that's the history of it. So there were 3 tools they offered. There was the full Model Maker, which was their full UMX or UML case tool. Then they had Model Maker Code Explorer, or MMX, that was the Delphi IDE add-in that added all of this refactoring and stuff like that, which is the main thing that we're going to be talking about today. And then they also have the structured diff viewer, which I had not even seen this before, but I'm pretty excited about it. I'm a huge fan of Beyond Compare for a variety of reasons. It's a great tool written in Delphi as well, but this structured diff viewer, the idea is that it really understands the code. And so things, for example, changing the sort order of methods doesn't impact the code, right? The code's still functionally the same. So it focuses on the differences that are actual differences in the code. So MMX Code Explorer is the 2. So in 2018, Model Maker Tools decided that it wasn't profitable to keep making and selling Model Maker, their suite of tools. So they actually are now focused on their mind mapping tool called Simple Mind. It was Garrett Buse, I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong, was the developer of those, and Uwe was someone that had contributed to Model Maker in the past, and so Uwe has taken over and made it free. So long story short, Model Maker, really powerful refactoring case tool back in the day. over time, didn't see as many sales as they would like, and so now it is free. Originally it was by Garrett, but now it's managed by Uwe. It's now available at a new website. Let's see. Oh, Uwe, if you're not familiar with him, great guy. His blog is Art of Delphi Programming. He's located in Germany, and you can find his other various links for his websites there. So the new website it's available at is mmxdelphi.de. I think, let me see if I have this here. I had some videos that I pre-recorded a lot of videos, and then, yeah, some of it didn't work out. Maybe I'll get them posted later. Let's see if I can. Video. Oh, okay. Some of these are on here. Oh, I see what happened. All right. Let me see if I can get this to work. It's not there. I just copied it over. Apologies. All right. So I was going to show, I had a video of installing it. It's easy to install. People always want to see videos or installations, but anyway, I don't have the installation video. That's fine. It's very easy to install. So some of the features, there's a lot of features here. One of the main things is the refactorings. There's a lot of refactorings in there that are different. So one thing I will say, a lot of the features that really made MMX just really must-have have been integrated into Delphi and run from other tools. But so you may see some of these things and like, well, that's built into Delphi. Why do I need MMX? The way MMX does it is, for a lot of these, is way more powerful. So the refactorings, for example, Delphi has refactorings now, but the refactorings in MMX are really super impressive and more powerful. So don't discount the fact that don't think about the fact that they're in Delphi as being a reason not to use MMX. Yeah, so there's a lot of features in there. There's lots of different documentation, which is kind of cool. I haven't looked at that much at all, but the idea is that you can it manages the way you document your classes and stuff like that. So if you're building a library for other people to use, that's a really useful thing there. All right, let me go ahead and go into, okay, circular references. This is a pretty big deal that MMX focuses on, one of the features MMX focuses on. So if you're not familiar with circular references, you can, and I have a little aside here. I have two laptops. One I had some problems with, so I had to get a second laptop for going to Delphi Summit, and now I have both of them, and I switch between them from time to time, and every now and then I'm on the wrong laptop, and right now I'm on the wrong laptop. I had a demo set up for this. I have some screenshots for this, but essentially the two laptops, I thought about getting just like a cheap laptop just to get me by, but I got a good deal on this one here that's super powerful, but it's also super big. So I like the other laptop because it's slim and small. So there are features. One laptop's not better than the other. They both have pros and cons. That's why I switch around a lot. And I have not come up with a good solution for keeping myself in sync between the two. So that's why I'm not going to show you the demo here for this, but I'll explain it, and I do have some screenshots on the slides. Circular references. Bad idea. It does compile, but it's not recommended. For big projects, this can create a lot of headaches for you. And I talked to, I can't remember his name, William, wrote the book on working with legacy Delphi applications or something like that. And he said this is a really big thing that he sees that have problems with legacy applications, is they just have all this really tightly coupled circular references in there, and it causes them problems. So not recommended. So the way I have this set up here is that if you have your application, if they're all in the interface, then the compiler will say, whoa, you can't do that. But if you move to the implementation, the compiler lets you do that. Lets you do it, probably shouldn't. The MMX Code Explorer has a feature for discovering those. So let's see. Oops. Hold on. Oh, all right. Hold on. Let me. And stop sharing my screen. Aha, it's back. Okay. I have a external portable monitor I use with my laptop. So having because I work remotely, I have a co-working space, everything goes in my backpack. So I have 2 laptops and an external monitor. And then I have Mouse Without Borders, which is a cool utility as part of Windows Power Tools that lets me move my mouse and share files between the 2 computers. So I have a pretty crazy setup when I'm out and about. But the monitor would come unplugged, and that's why I was having trouble sharing earlier, is because then it wasn't aware of it. But it's found it now. So unit dependencies is a feature in Code Explorer that you can get to, and it lets you. So there's the main menu there from Code Explorer or MMX. If you go down to Tools, Unit Dependencies, it will then hit Analyze on your project. Go over to the Cycles DSM tab. You'll see it shows right here that the way it's being used. So the plus versus minus is interface versus implementation. So it gives you this visual view of how your projects are being used. And then there is a report, as well as, I'll talk about, hope I don't have the errors in here. There's a report you can print out and things like that that can give you details. So this is a really simple project, just so it's easier to see. But it's a good way of being able to drill in and see when you have these circular references in there and discover it and then fix it. So this unit dependency analyzer is actually a standalone. It's built into MMX, run from the IDE, but it's also a standalone tool that you can run outside the IDE and outside MMX. So you can have a project file that specifies your project and what files in the project and stuff like that, so that it can analyze that separately from being able to need to be done in the IDE. It also has, I've never heard of this before, LaTeX LDI Dependency Structure Viewer. It can export for that. It's another tool that you can use to review your dependencies. One of the things I thought was interesting, or when I'm looking at a tool, I like to kind of go through the configuration options to see the what's in there, and that kind of gives you an idea of some of the features that are available. And there's a lot here, so I'm going to go through this kind of quickly, but the idea is just to kind of give you a little quick overview of it. And I restructured this slide. This was part of one of the things I redid that I'm not going to be able to do right now. But yeah, so there's a lot of different options in here in configuration. This is, all right, hold on. I think I'm going to just, yeah. Let's go ahead and go into the demo portion here. So, yeah, all my demos are on the laptop. Switch this layout around here. Okay, so I just created a new, I'm going to change the display. I like dark mode, but I found that at least it feels to me like the light mode shows up better for presentations. It definitely has better contrast, I think, and that's probably what it is. So MMX, the interesting about MMX is it has this Model Maker Code Explorer window. And this is kind of the the main interface to it. Oh, we got a couple more people joining here. India, Javar, and from Germany. Good to see you. So yeah, this is the main interface, and so you get this these tabs up here along the top, and but you really need to come into this the Code Explorer window, and that's your main window. And it has actually, you can come in here and there's different layout options as well. I just saw this. Wow, nope, I don't see it. There's different layout options. What am I doing here? Why is this not working right? So what I did on the other laptop is I put in this palette tab, because when you're in the code view, and I'm on this laptop, I have the zoom cranked up to make it easier to see. It's so it's really small on your actual laptop or your development screen. I'm sure you have a lot more real estate available to you, but yeah, I don't see it. There's an option to, so yeah, on my development machine, that's the other thing, my laptop has a bigger screen. This is the external screen right now. It's easier to see. So I like keeping it here on palette, because when you're in the code view, you don't need to see that, although you can set it up so that it also appears like when you, depending on whether you're looking at the code view versus the designer. But I'm going to pop this out here just so I have more space to work with it. Customize. Man. So this up here is the documentation tool, by the way. So you can, all right, let me go ahead and start making a new class. So I'm going to say add class. Now, when you're making a new class, 90% of the time it should be in its own unit, but that's okay. We're going to do it in here for now. I always feel bad when I'm doing a presentation or a demo, when I'm doing things, it's like, don't do this in production code, which unfortunately a lot of it is, because it's easier to demo that way. So we'll just call it, yeah, we'll call it default. Yeah, why not? And actually, let's add an interface of T. I don't know why that didn't show up on the list. Okay, so I have a class here that I've added, and it has an interface. Now, it's like, whoa, hold on. I haven't, did I spell this wrong? What the? Oh, that's why it wasn't showing up in the list. So it's saying, hey, you missed implementation of all these things. And, you know, in the past, I would go and like control click on dispatch and then go and copy those out. But check this out. This is cool. So I can take dispatch right here, and I can just drag it onto the class. Right. Oh, so over here in the view, I'll point a couple things out before I do that. So this gives you a navigation of the whole thing, which is similar to the structure view over here, but this is more powerful and more flexible. I don't know. So I see the form, I see the inheritance, right? So T default, the one I just made, inherits from T object. And then I have the navigation here in the module, which is the unit file. So I can go to the interface uses clause implementation. And then it has parsing hints right here where it shows different things. That's interesting. And then your live metrics, where it's just going to give you an analysis of things. So this window here has got a lot of information in it and a lot of functionality. So interface. So I can take this dispatch here and I can drag it onto default, and it brings up this interface wizard. And I say, let's make those public, and go ahead and hit OK. And so what it's now done is it has implemented. Let's go to code focus and then bring back up my model maker window. It's gone and added all of those. What am I missing now here? Okay, so this should be interface object. So let's go, oops, to here, and I can say, oops, edit. And I want to name the interfacer T interfaced object. Again, I don't know why that didn't show up there. So now it's interfaced object. Now, you might notice this here. I got this 7 here. MMX has the feature of multiple or similar functionality to Parnassus bookmarks. So at first I had Parnassus bookmarks installed too, and they were both showing up there, and I was like, what? And then so yeah, it's got the same functionality where you can do some similar functionality, not exactly the same. So you can use both together, but you will want to probably configure them to not overlap like that. Okay, so that's interfaces. And so now I have modules here. I'm not going to... This is a cool feature. Gosh, there's so many things here. I wish my other video worked. It's not working. All right, that's fine. You can reorder this here. So I can, let's see, how do I move this? I can just drag. Nope. I can rename them. How do I reorder them? So there's a reorder, order by, here we go. So I can say order by name, and it will resort them, or I can say order by, oh, let me add another method. New method is, I would just call it Z last. So it's at the end, right? And we'll make this one private type. Oh, interesting. Gosh, it's not even fitting completely on the screen here because of the zoom. You can come in here and add parameters to the list. So this is kind of gives you this like, yeah, sure, we'll have new param and new param 1, and they'll make this one a, oh, so this type is the return type, right? So we'll say returns a string, and here's the parameters we have, and so this, we're going to make this one a string as well, and lots of other things here. So it's got it's a function because now if it's a procedure, right? See that return type goes away, string, and then over here I can put documentation on this, and I have a template. Automatically adds the documentation there, and then there's a spell checker. So if you're like me and have bad spelling, you can spell check this. So I will say, oh, and it's got the squiggly line on it too. So I can say, I spell bad, and then I can run spell checker, and it says that, and then spell, oh, yeah, it should be spell. Spell check is complete. All right. I'm not going to try and explain everything here. Looking at this, you can see there's a lot of different functionality here. So I'm not going to go into all that, but let's go ahead and hit OK. So now I have the new function added. And so then I can go in here and I can say sort by visibility, and see now it put it up at the top in here. And then, wait, it didn't sort the code. resort here. So there's the documentation. I had this working. Why is this not resorting it? It was, all right, never mind. There was a way to do that, and I just don't know what I'm doing now. I messed something up. You can then come in here. Let's see, what was the other thing I was going to show? There it is. This is the source indexer. This was like the thing that I originally started using MMX Code Explorer for back in the day, was a source indexer. And Windows has the built-in Windows search, but oh my goodness, I keep having trouble with that. I like it. I use everything. If you don't use everything, highly recommended by Void Tools. Everything searches file names. This one searches inside of it. And I know GExperts number ones have a grep utility, but the problem with that is if you have a lot of code you're searching regularly, it's slow. This one it goes and builds an index. So let's go ahead and set this up here. And the first time you do it, it's going to take a little bit. Oops, that's not it. It's options. So root path, let's go ahead and documents, Git. Okay. So I'm just going to index my entire Git, which for some reason, Microsoft updated the Windows search to automatically exclude Git repositories from your search, which they had some reason for that, but that's annoying because I put a lot of my code in Git and now I can't search it anymore. Okay, so you can put exclude paths in here. So like if you want to say history, right? You don't want that to show up in there. And this is going to take a while to run. Let me change this to oops. There we go. My code monkey code. If I do this, this will here go and search and include all of the Delphi source as well. So I'm not going to do that, but that's useful in a lot of situations. But just for speed, I'm going to turn those off for now. And so you can also do this where you can say you want to have plain text where it's going to include comments and strings, or you can do Pascal identifiers, which skips your comments and strings, which that could be useful, right? And you can then have it auto rebuild too. So, oh, it already indexed? It did. That was quick. So I'll go ahead and no, I won't. All right. So now I can search through this. Go ahead and do a little bit bigger one, just so you can see. So see, it's indexing down there at the bottom. You can see the indexing. It's going to take a while to get all those indexed. Oh, Roland just joined from Finland. Hello, Roland. And I recognize your picture, but I can't remember your name. Apologies. And I don't want to say it wrong. So thanks for joining from Germany. You can also, when you do the search here, so you can jump to the match in the IDE, right? And you can do a report where it shows like where your things are showing up. So that could be useful, I suppose, if it used to be printing stuff out, right? I still occasionally print things out, I suppose, but I don't. That's just me. I don't like printing stuff anymore. Let's see. Okay, so there you go. It's finished doing all the indexing. So that was much quicker than I expected it to be. And so one thing that's cool, though, also is that because you have that in there, you can then, if you have a situation where you can't find identifier or stuff like that, you can use the indexer for that. Oh, this is my CodeMonkey code that's open now. Actually, I was going to update this, and I just haven't got around to it yet. If you haven't seen my CodeMonkey video, this is the behind-the-scenes code, the code that makes the lyrics to the song syntactically correct code. I haven't looked at it in a while. All right. So I have a it's funny because, like, you know, we always do the demo where you have the person, right? And then you have the descendants ones where you have two different types of people. He's like, I'd never do that in code. Well, here it is actually in code. And I guess you could say production code. And so the manager has different implementation things specific to that versus the CodeMonkey, two different people. I'm running out of time. All right, so do I have, let me look at the videos here. I have, well, that's indexing. See, those aren't the ones I needed. Okay. What else was I going to show here in this? Oh, I will show on here. Go out to mmxdelphi.de. I'll put this in the chat actually. That you there is these old videos, which is they're kind of funny actually because how old they're, that show I can't remember what the tool was for this. I thought it was kind of a cool tool. Show some of the functions in action. Entity insight, interface wizard, event handler view, toggle object inspector, live documentation, and such. And then there's some new articles as well that show or that talk about some of the different things in here. So, for example, the try finally wizard. And again, some of these things, like I said, are similar to ones that are built into Delphi now, but these are, I think, better. There's still some of the stuff that doesn't work with the newest syntax, for example, like inline variables and stuff, but it's the same thing for the built-in refactoring tools too. Actually, let's go ahead and demo this here. So if I have a and then I go Control-Shift-J. Oops, I did it wrong. Oh, Control-Alt-J. Control-Alt-J. And it puts the, so this is something going through MMX, like I said, I used this a long time ago, and there's a lot of things that in my mind, I'm like, I thought I used to be able to do this in Delphi. MMX was the secret for that. So this is great because it understands the buffer was declared right there, and so it knows that's what needs to be freed. Way better than the one that is in Delphi where you type try, right? So if I did it this way, it didn't put the thing in there. So that's annoying. And then also the fact that Delphi auto-completes these in inopportune times is annoying as well. So yeah, much better try finally wizard. And it's customizable. All these things are customizable. Let's see, what was the other one in here? Oh, this is again, there is a feature built into Delphi that does this, but this one does it better, where you can synchronize the declaration and the implementation for you automatically. Oh yeah, so you can do the. Let's see, how do I do this? I go. I want to convert. No. You can basically what you can do is you can have variables or identifiers and move them around between the whether there be constants or field identifiers or local variables and stuff like that. It can just handle all that for you automatically. Oh, and I did want to show if you. So I have this T default here. Let's say I'm like, you know what? That's a terrible name. Let's give it a better name. Oh, so let's go ahead and. No. We'll add a new unit. And in here, I will use file use unit 27. And we'll just do default dot create. Memory leak, doesn't matter. So now if I go over here though, and I bring up the MMX window and rename default, which I can bring it up here, or I can just click on it right there and say useful name, because all your classes should have useful names. It automatically, right? Oh, I know why, because I didn't. All right, so let's do this again. Oops. Full name. Man, I can't type. Useful name. And I go over here. It didn't update it. Why didn't it update that? All right. It was updating for it before me. I did something wrong there, but you can see it updated everywhere here automatically. Anyway, that was kind of a mess. Apologies. Hopefully there was something here that you're like, hey, that was kind of interesting. I should check out MMX Model Maker Code Explorer. MMX Code Explorer, I guess, is the name now. You can go out here to mmx.de or mmx-delphi.de and find out more about it. Download it. Like I said, now it's free. Oh, I didn't even show the structured difference viewer. So lets you compare files. Let's do this. Let's compare this to this one. And right now they're going to be matching, but then I can this is kind of useless. I can't edit from here. So this is cool. See, it has the structure over here. It shows the classes and things. And let me open a different project. Documents, Git. and documents, get simple types. There it is. I don't know which other one was I opened before. Those aren't the same ones. So anyway, this will be more interesting to look at in that it's showing you what's different between the two from a structure point of view as opposed to just from a text point of view. So very cool. Yeah. I'm sure there's lots of questions. If you have questions, put them in the question panel. And I got a few minutes here. I'll try and answer them for you. Like I said, if hopefully this has been enough that you're like curious now to go out and check out the model maker, and yeah, give it a shot. MMX Code Explorer. So I keep getting the name mixed up because of what it was called in the past. And if you do find it useful, let Uwe know that you do appreciate it. It's not open source now. That's something I did want to make sure to point out. It's not open source, but Model Maker Tools, Garrett has licensed it to Uwe to maintain. The documentation, and like here it says through Delphi 11, I'm using it in Delphi 12. It works with Delphi 12. So documentation and stuff is not as up to date as the code is. The code does work with the latest version of Delphi. I'm running it in Delphi 12.2 right now. 12. It is 12.2. There it is, update 2. And it works fine there. So it does work with the latest version of Delphi, even though the documentation doesn't say that. Documentation also refers to like the trial period. There is no trial period. It is free all the time now. Percy said he's going to check it out. Awesome. And Paul says, thanks. You're welcome, Paul. Yeah, I've been wanting, so I will back up for a second here. I'm wanting to change this from these long form, hour-long webinars to a shorter form stuff. So what I've been doing in the GExperts one, you saw some of this, and the FastMM one I did as well, is I've been trying to make shorter videos that cover different things, and then I want to have them all rolled up into the long webinar. So that's what I was trying to do this time, but then whatever variety of things happened, and I just didn't get it all rolled up. And then the videos, I didn't get the videos produced. So I have a lot of stuff in various stages of production, but then the export things. So yeah, that's not here. So in the future, my goal is to have these webinars where I'm going to create a bunch of smaller videos, and then I will roll them all up into one big webinar. And then the webinar will be talking about the individual videos and have details and stuff like that. But then they'll also be available as the smaller videos. And so the smaller videos are easier to consume and will have tighter editing on it, which takes way more time. And then the webinar will be just this conversation about those videos. So yeah. So very complex. Yes, I will give you that. It is complex, but I found, and I installed this a while back and I've been messing with it, trying more and more, trying to unlock it and figure it out, is that it is complex, but it is, I feel like what am I trying to say? I think it's easy, or it's fairly easy to ease into, right? So there is a pretty good learning curve, at least I felt like, because you need, I'm gonna go back into the IDE. You need to bring up this window, right? So there's these windows you have to bring up that are your interface into the functionality of MMX, and that's not always obvious, at least in my opinion. So it does kind of change the way you're writing your code, your workflow. But what that also means is that it doesn't get in your way. If you have a way you're doing things with Delphi, you can keep doing it that way, and it's not going to like get in your way and make you change it. But then if you take the time to like go in there, read the documentation, there's quick start guide. There's a lot of documentation available for this actually. Like I said, some of it's not completely up to date. And just to unlock one feature at a time and like, okay, I'm going to start using this template. I'm going to start using this wizard. I'm going to start using this function here. It gives you a way to ease into it. And like I said, it doesn't get in your way because it's kind of all behind this, this Code Explorer window. And then there's the other wizards, creational wizard, accelerated key wizard. It has functions that is tied to like form designers as well as functions that are tied to code. So variety of things here, lots of different things to look at. I do recommend you take a look at it and ease into it. And even if you just unlock one or two features at a time, then it will make a big difference. There's a lot of things. Like I said, going back and doing this, there's so many times I've been like, I remember doing this and I loved it and I missed it and I didn't know where it went. And that was because it was in MMX back when I used it years ago. And now it's free. Thank you, Uwe, and available today. So check it out. It's free and works with the latest version of Delphi. And even just unlocking a few of these features in your workflow can make a really big difference. Let me... So email jim@gdksoftware.com. If you have suggestions for topics you'd like to see covered. And I will, let's see. Okay, so Roland says, I've used MMX Explorer for a while, but I imagine only use a fraction of it. Yeah, there's a lot here, so that's easily the case that you're not using all of it. Yeah, so again, it's actually, so I was just talking to someone the other day about, I've worked in other places where I was doing the technical interviews for new Delphi developers. And an interesting thing I discovered is that I run into people all the time that might have 10 years of experience, but they only have the 1 year they've repeated for 10 times, right? So there's things that when people have worked for a while that you expect, right? So if someone has 10 years of experience in development, you expect them to reach a certain level. But some people don't push outside their comfort zone. They do the things they do and they keep doing them. So going out, discovering a tool like this, using it, unlocking it is part of that ongoing development that you need to do. Development on yourself to make yourself a better developer. Roland says that his favorite is method synchronization and extract method. Yeah, great features, great functionality. I'm going to make some more videos on individual features and put them up on our YouTube channel. I already have, like I said, a lot of them are already made, but yeah. Cool. Well, thanks for sticking through with me, and hope to see you on the future webinars, and hopefully I'll get this process going better so that these webinars have a little better production. Anyway, thanks a lot. Take care, and I'll talk to you later. Bye, everybody.